Put your booster seat on.
Booster seat.
Yeah, you're right.
Do that the whole time.
No one's buying any merch. No one's watching this.
No one wants nout. To unleash some new weaponry onto the garage game.
Yeah.
What's going on? Seeing?
Well, I've upgraded my topics list now, and it's got different colours on it with arrows. It's like a beautiful mind.
Now we know what's going on.
It's like Rain Man.
Color coded by priority or to talk about, or interest?
New. I also have it written so small that I would probably need glasses to read it. And do I now have my glasses? But this is something that you'll be excited about. Look how many drinks I've got. One. Two.
Small one. Two.
Finishing off some creatine. Three. And just in case I get a little bit thirsty, it's a little alcohol-free beer there.
Oh my goodness, Punk AF.
Punk AF, yeah. So I'm going to play a dangerous little game. Yeah,
race against the Wii.
Yeah, I went to the supermarket earlier, so we just got back from a little weekend away. So just to get the normal bits and pieces, posted out a flag. Shout out to Paul for buying that flag. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
And
respect, Paul.
Respect, Paul.
You're the man.
We see you grinding, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
before we get started in my story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit him with it, Matt.
Please like and subscribe to the channel, the Garage Builder Athlete YouTube channel. Hit the like and hit the subscribe.
Yeah, hit it and quit it. You're on the internet anyway. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, just get over there and hit that like button. Smash that like, they say, don't they?
Yeah.
Smash it
to bits. So yeah, so we'd been for a little weekend away, which I've got some stories. And so I went to the shop, and I all of a sudden just really needed to go for a wee. And I thought, what the hell? Why do I need the wee so bad? And why has this supermarket not got a customer toilet? So I had to do a race mode shop where you're just absolutely dying for a piss.
Can't concentrate though, can you? That's the problem.
Nah, can't concentrate. Nothing's where you need it. Everything's, the wrong thing. Everybody's going slow. Everyone's in your way. The self-service doesn't work. Everything's just effed.
And everything's a reach, so it's triggering it. And you're like,
what I'd done was, because I had a few treats at the weekend away, I thought, all right, I know what I'm going to do. Let's get some water through. Let's start cleansing this system. Let's get this going. Let's get the bladder moving a bit. And just before I went out, I drank like 1.5 liters of water with a coffee, sat in the garden, and then I decided to go to the shop.
Clear it out.
Ah, Jesus.
That's
and then, of course,
right
on the way back, I hit every traffic light going. Got to the front door, so I thought, right, I'm just going to grab these bags in, like throw them down, and just wee wherever I can. Just come in the door, just pissing everywhere. just spray it. Put the key in the door, wouldn't open. Key was in the door the other side, so I'm like frantically knocking at the door. Right, Claire comes along, answers the door. She went, I'm going to burst. I'm going to burst. She went, I wondered why you were knocking like that. And then I literally, there's a film, I'm sure there's a film where the guy just doesn't stop peeing. If anyone can remember that film, it's just like the pee is continued. I must have been a constant stream of pee. Claire even commented, that's the longest pee I've ever heard. It was just, it wouldn't stop coming. And then even when I finished, I still had more to squeeze out. I still had like a backup pee. It must have been like, must have like a reserve bladder.
Reservoir.
Reservoir. Christ. I remember needing, when I was in high school, did you go on the Hadrian's Wall trip when you went to high school?
Yeah, I did.
So I don't know where Hadrian's Wall is because my geography is terrible.
It's not the wall between England and Scotland.
Sounds good. So that's a long way from here because we're like, 5-6 hours from there? Ish. I say we, you're a little bit further.
I'm a little bit further, yeah. I'm a smidge further away.
And I remember getting on the coach from Hadrian's Wall back with school. And I must have been, maybe like 13, 14, something around that age. It was like a year 9-ish trip, year 10.
Yeah, 12, 13, something like that.
And and they didn't have a toilet on the coach and refused to stop. Probably the right thing to do, because every kid's going to need a piss at some point. But looking back now, why they wouldn't just stop and let me go to the toilet? I've got, they really
did you
should
ask
do that.
or did they have to?
Yeah. I was like, I've got to go to the toilet, and me and my friend, and I can't remember which friend it was now, which I'm sure they won't mind not getting a shout out about needing a piss. But literally, the entire 6 hours was just on edge, on a knife edge, just hanging on to this pee the whole way back.
If you'd actually unleashed that, then they would have been like,
well, yeah, if I just peed and let it run down the front of the bus.
That would have been good, wouldn't it? I'd been like, oh, that's good. That was worth him hanging on. Now that we've got a bus full of wee. Adrian's wall.
I've got some other wee stories as well, but I won't.
Carlisle.
I'll save them for like an anniversary podcast.
Yeah, hang on for that one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, well, you googling it? You googling?
Yeah, I was just. I think I don't want to look stupid, but I don't know either exactly where it is. But it's basically like
it's up there, isn't it?
Up north,
it's up there
on the limit between Scotland and England.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's enough.
I think, factually, I think William Wallace built it to keep the King of Spain out of China. That's
King of Austria.
Just have a look out for that. So I've got all sorts of topics to cover this week. I can go from one to the other. I can
just unleash it. Just jump from one lily pad to another.
Okay.
Of glorious content.
Okay, so we went to Hunstanton for the weekend, which is a place that we really like. Have you been to Hunstanton?
Sunny Honey.
Sunny Honey?
I don't think I have
been there, to be honest. It's a nice little seaside town, and it's quite good. It's like a hotspot for wind surfers, kite surfers, that kind of thing, because it's got the wash and it's like quite shallow and it's a good wind and you don't get massive waves. So there's lots of people doing all that kind of stuff. So it's quite popular. All the bikers sort of go there as well. There's lots of like biker place, but we like it. Turns out you cannot get a decent coffee in Hunstanton. This is how bad it got, is that I got home after 4 days away, made myself a decaf coffee, sat in the garden, sipped it, and thought, how fucking hard is it to get this right? Because I just did it. Honestly, every one I bought a bad one, and then I tried to buy a good one to make up for the bad one. So I'm doubling money. So you're welcome, Hunstanton, for the economy boost from me this weekend.
GDP of Hunstanton's gone through.
Yeah, it's gone through the stratosphere. It's like Bitcoin like 4 weeks ago. It's gone mental. So I buy a coffee in one place. I'm like, okay, that's not a great coffee, so I'm not going to go back there. And I go, right, there's another place that's got a decent machine, got a grind, they've got all different coffees on the menu. They must know how to make them because they are physically advertising these coffees. So. Macchiato, cortado, I'm thinking, here we go. Get one. No, garbage. Absolutely. I'm not even talking like if you're a coffee snob, this is garbage. I'm talking like if you know what coffee is, then what you're drinking probably doesn't quite resemble what you'd expect to receive.
If you're offended by drinking muddy water, you're probably going to be offended.
The worst one was the cortado that I bought had a skin on it.
Oh God.
Yeah, like when you get a soup with a skin on it, like what the fuck?
Soup with the layer on the roof.
What the fuck? It wrinkled up.
Do that
on my cup, and I had to get it out with my finger and wipe it on the seawall. This cortado was.
Is it the hot milk that's done that? Is it? Or?
I think it was the maniac who poured it. To be honest, I don't know how you would do that. That's never happened to me before. Getting a skin on a coffee. I've never.
Well, it's got to be the milk, isn't it?
Something's gone wrong.
But a little bit of mist there.
Yeah, what was I saying? So I ordered this cortado. I think like a little rule for me now, even though I'm going to sound like a real dick, is like, if I order a cortado, could I say, what is a cortado? And just get them to explain to me what it is, so I know that they know what it is.
What did you actually get?
I got a very bad white coffee. Like in half a cup of very bad white coffee, because it wasn't a good cortado. It was that bad a cortado. It was still a bad white coffee.
because it should just be a short coffee, and then you can with milk.
Yeah.
Well, you say in Spain when they do it, it's like cordero con leche, which is short coffee with milk.
Yeah. So they pull the
They're
shot.
the ones I like.
They pull the shot short to make it less bitter, so you get a smaller shot, and then it's just like a nice micro foamed bit of milk.
I didn't realize it was to do with the taste. I thought it was just the size, because you can get just café con leche, which is a normal size coffee, but in Spain they're smaller anyway. They're much smaller. Like a normal coffee in Spain is probably about half the size of a standard UK coffee, and then cortado is a little one, probably half again. Yeah, the ones I like.
I like them. Yeah, good.
Me too.
They're good.
Me too.
I like them for a little mid-afternoon.
Yeah, it's common. Yeah, it's common for the after lunch one to take the edge off it a bit. It's normally the big one for breakfast.
But what I will say is there was the highlights in terms of coffee, and I'll get off the coffee trip in a minute. So there's a little place called Norfolk Deli who sell, I went in there because I wanted to see if they sold coffee beans, and they did, and they sold coffee beans from a coffee place that I really like called Norfolk Coffee Company. So I bought some of their beans and also bought a flat white from them, which was okay. So that was okay. So that was a saving grace. And I had my very first Affogato.
Affogato. I don't know what an affogato is.
Affogato is like a dessert. So it's like a blob of ice cream with a shot of coffee on it. And my dear Lord, it was so good.
Really?
It was so fucking good.
What
like, you remember that donut that you had?
Oh, yeah.
I was with you there, bro. I was on top of this terrace bar, and the kids had Chloe had like a raspberry sorbet, Harrison had this double chocolate thing, Claire had some salted caramel ice, and I said I'll have an affogato because I wanted to try one, because I was talking about one the other week with a friend, and it was so good. It was stracciatella ice cream, so it's like vanilla with like chocolate shavings in it.
We're really murdering the foreign
mate,
language here, aren't we?
I'm from Norfolk.
It's the chocolate like bits, isn't it?
Yeah, chocolate bits, chocolate chip ice cream. But yeah, so I'll
say stracciatella.
So
even that sounds horrible. It coming out of my uncultured mouth.
Yeah, it's Monday, and we talk about chocolate chip ice cream, boy.
Monday.
So I had it, and I had a very
stracciatella.
That's the one.
It's like that. Stracciatella.
So good. Tiny little shovel of a spoon with it. As well, so, and it was, oh my man, that was good. I was like, I know how you felt at that petrol station with that donut. I was looking at this ice cream, just going, I don't want this to end. That was so good.
Get another one. There's more where that came from.
Yeah, only £4.50.
Oh, nice bargain. Yeah, just get them in you.
Not too bad. £2.25 for a scoop. £2.25 for a shot. Yeah, that was good. I would have pulled the trigger on them every day, but I was trying not to go too overboard with the food.
Trying not to go bankrupt eating stracciatella ice cream and coffee.
That tends to be what holidays turn into. It's just where the next bit of food is going to come from.
That is also true. It's basically the hunt for food. On the hunt. Have you heard of a bonbon coffee?
No, I've heard of a bonbon and I've heard of a coffee, but I've not heard of a bonbon coffee.
That is like a cortado with condensed milk.
Don't tell me they put a bonbon, there's float a bonbon.
No, it's like condensed milk that they put into it. So it's like ultra sweet. It's insane. Yeah. But you have to have a mega sweet tooth for that. I don't know, it's a bit too sweet for me.
Yeah.
But pretty cool if you like sweet stuff.
I was in like a petrol station type place where they have a Costa inside it, like a real little Costa inside the petrol station. And the guy in front of me, I can't remember what time of day this was. He ordered a coffee with 8 sugars in it.
Oh God.
8.
He's just trying to get his money's worth. Then it's not so bad when they charge you like £4.80 for a tiny coffee if you've got 3/4 of a kilo of sugar in it.
Oh, mad.
Do you fit any coffee in the cup if you've got 8 sugars in it?
It's just got to be sludge, isn't it? After a while.
Well, what does it taste of? Why don't you just put like sugar in water and save yourself a bother?
I don't know. Or maybe he was like a butterfly sugars. Or a bee.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar.
Ants like sugar.
No, it's a lot of sugar.
8 sugars.
Mm-hmm.
I you get bored before you put all the sugars in. Does he do that for himself at home? Sugars.
He must have a technique, like hold all the sugars in one hand and then just like chop it.
Yeah, with a like really sharp knife.
Yeah.
Or that.
Because I always like when they bring me coffees and things in restaurants or whatever, and they bring you the little biscuit, like the Lotus biscuits, like the caramelized.
What do you think?
biscuits.
You are the king.
I don't ask for it. I don't ask for it. They could bring you a biscuit and then they bring you like 2 sugars. And I'm always like, I give the biscuit to someone else and then ditch the sugar.
Excuse me, mate. Can I just have another 6 sugars?
Dude, what have you done to your arm? You've been attacked by an octopus? Hang on. I've got a large shirt on. Hold on.
Yeah, they're a bit broke.
Did you do that?
Motocross. Apparently it involves getting savagely
smashed in the arm.
Rocks. Yeah. So that'll teach me.
You maybe need some more sugar in your coffee, and that won't happen to you.
Yeah, just 6 more. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Another 6, please.
I haven't got enough sugar to do that. What else is on the list?
Well, I was just looking. I've just smashed through like half the list.
You just drilled your entire list.
But we are 30 minutes. Maybe not 30 minutes in. I started this early and maybe I haven't recorded it, so I don't know what time we're at. So yeah, that was mainly it. Just getting hyped up on caffeine, good caffeine and bad caffeine experiences.
We are at
in Hunstanton.
Yeah, we're not far off.
I think we're about
20-ish minutes.
20. So yeah. The other things on the list are hair.
Well, that we can see.
You can see
not
what's
just on
going
the
on with
list.
that.
On your Swede. Also,
what's going on with that? Jesus
get
Christ.
that ripped off or what? I need to do it as well. That's why I keep wearing a hat. That's why I've been wearing a hat for the last 13 episodes because I dare.
Cheaper.
Yes,
if you already own the hat, it's cheaper, and even if you don't, it's still cheaper. Yeah. So it was hair, and then it was training. That was what I had written down.
Great success. Did you train while you're away?
No.
Not a peep.
Nothing. No.
Not even a press up.
Lie. I did my rehab every day. Did my rehab every day, and went swimming twice, and then walking. So if you count little bits of swimming and walking and rehab as training, then yes, I trained every day.
I don't.
No, so I did not. It was 4 rest days. Well, it was 2 rest days. It was 2 rest days because I trained Friday before I went, and I trained today when I got back. So I had 2 rest days, which is pretty normal. But I feel fat as fuck and like well out of shape.
That's because you ate like 8 sugars or whatever it was in each magafaka or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I tapered the eating down, so it ramped up Friday night and it's peaked Saturday, and then I tapered it down and off Sunday into Monday.
I ate about 75 bananas over the weekend.
That shit is bananas.
A lot of bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-N.
B-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-S. A lot of bananas, a lot of nuts, and some gels. So I didn't really eat anything, so my stomach felt rotten after that. But that's the motocross life for you. That's the racing life.
It's all gel. It's all gel.
Yes, it is. I
Bruce
don't eat too many of them, but it worked. It worked okay. That's pretty cool.
Like a carbo gel, like a power.
Yeah, like a. I think they're called power gel. Are they now? Power gel. I had some
like the little foil
like that. Yeah, some of the IsoStar looking ones, some of the Decathlon copy ones. Other large sports outlets are available, and some
not so many after the pandemic.
I think they're called Power Bar. They're like power gel, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're quite good. I like those. They're all right because they come like pre-mixed with water as well. Because normally, if you have one of those, you're supposed to drink a load of water. But some
power
gel ones have water in. Otherwise, it just destroys you because it's just pure sugar in it, basically.
Yeah,
and you end up with a mess in your stomach.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically just survived on that and schnitzels, which is the stock Austrian staple food. So
schnitzel is for anybody who doesn't know, what's a schnitzel? Talk us through a schnitzel.
Schnitzel can be pork, normally chicken or beef, and then they wallop it with like a meat tenderizer and flatten it, and then
hit it,
breadcrumb it, and like breadcrumbs, not batter.
Oh yeah,
and then they
talk
fry
schnitzel
it.
to me.
And then they whack that on the old plate with some cranberry, like it's just basically cranberries, but it's not really cranberry sauce like Christmas cranberry sauce. It's more like, pretty sure it's cranberries, definitely red berries. And then
Schnitzel
normally some chips on the old plate. So that kind of ruins the job as well. But I had 2 of those on Friday because there was literally nothing else to eat on the menu. And then on Saturday, I ate gels all day and bananas and nuts. And then on Sunday, I resumed normal service with some rice and beef.
Yeah.
It was cool. I survived. Mega organization. I bit off massively more than I could chew when I turned up there. And I was like, oh, saw the track. I was like, oh God. This expected to be like a little hillbilly redneck race. Well, the first thing, it was just like insane. The paddock was completely full of trucks and everything when we got there. It was completely rammed already.
It was legit.
And the track, it was pretty legit, to be fair. All the classes were full, like 40 plus riders in each class. And then I tried to race 4 races. Because I tried to race 4 races, I didn't realize that I would have also had to do 2 practices and 2 qualifying. So I went from my original plan when I was training of like a 1 practice of 12 minutes, 1 qualifying of 10 minutes, and then 2 races of 10 minutes plus 2 laps, to 2 practices of, I think I did 15 in the end, 2 qualifyings of 10, and then 4 races of 10 plus 2. So I doubled what I was doing. I was okay, worked out right.
Well, that's like when you run a marathon, isn't it? They say like you shouldn't run a whole marathon, just do like a half.
That's
and
also
then on
true.
the day you double it up.
Probably you shouldn't just do a half marathon and then turn up and try and do an actual marathon. Normally you do about, I don't know, if you're going to do a marathon,
several half marathons,
42 kilometers, do 35, 36 maybe, do like 80% or something like that.
Just do it on the night.
I like to do more and then come back from there.
Yeah.
Just to make
so
sure.
It was 4 races over 1 day or 2 days?
1 day.
1 day.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic. Yeah. The practice, I didn't manage to get out in the second practice because they were back to back. And as I came in to then go back out to the next one, the people were queuing up for the next one. Okay. So I couldn't get out for the second one.
And the bike survived?
Yeah, bike survived. It's good.
Cool.
It needs lots of bits and pieces now. This is the problem with this that I now remember, is that once you start to use them regularly, then you're basically just like prepping bikes and buying things for bikes. And
is it like Trigger's brew?
Cleaning bikes. Yeah, not yet, but it will be. It hasn't done many hours. They measure them in hours, like each now. So it's done 25 hours. 25 hours in nearly 2 years, which is pretty pathetic. But like,
you hold her money well.
Yeah, I got it for a decent price. So I won't lose a lot of money. I'll lose some money on it. Our plan is to keep that basically indefinitely because they'll start to disappear a little bit. I think the little 2 strokes when electric starts to pick up speed in off-road stuff. But I think they'll still be popular for a while at least, so I'll hang on to her. And then, it does end up a little bit Trigger's broomy with engines, to be honest, more than anything. You can keep chassis and replace the suspension and stuff if you want, but it's more the engine that you rebuild, put piston and cranks and stuff.
And if anybody doesn't know what Trigger's broom is, just Google it, because I haven't got time to explain that shit to you. Google it. You should already know.
It's like you say, you had a broom for 20 years, but you've replaced 10 heads and 10 handles.
I said we weren't going to explain it.
I explained it. That's giving service to the people.
I gave people a problem and you solved it.
Yeah, that's what I'm all about.
So are you happy? Are you happy with your racing performance?
I'm not happy with my racing performance. I'm happy with being able to stick to the plan that I had. I'm happy that I managed to finish all the races. I am happy that I went a pretty consistent speed the whole time, but not fast enough by any stretch. But I can feel that it's slow. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like I was going fast and I wasn't. It felt like I was going slow and I was. So there's plenty of room to improve. And what is cool is that when you go to an event like that, because when you're riding in practice, you kind of get into a sort of going through the motions type of riding in practice because you're not really training to race. yet. So then when you go to a race and you see everybody and how they ride, and this happens, all sorts of stuff. It happens in fighting, or happens in circuit racing and endurance stuff. And when you actually go to a race, you see what it's actually all about, and then you just level up basically from there.
Yeah.
Like when you go back to ride practice has a whole different meaning. Do you know what I mean? You're actually trying to.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's the same as if you go and do a CrossFit competition or whatever, then all of a sudden it actually levels up everything else.
Yeah,
you focus and you understand a little bit more the point of it and what you need to do and where you need to focus. So luckily for me, I just need to go faster everywhere, so that's cool. I'm not in the really hard work bit.
That's cool.
Where it's like working on little things, which is quite hard work. It's like just really slow, basically. Compared
you got a short list of things to work on then, because it just say everything.
Yeah, basically, just one thing, everything. If I was going to pick, it's basically riding the bike like it needs to be ridden, because it's a little bit tricky to ride the 125 fast on like a low effort level. You can't, basically, you have to ride it like wide open all the time. And that in itself is quite difficult. The bike can let you do it because it's quite easy to ride. Because it's quite light and it's easy to turn, but you have to really ride it like wide open all the time to get it to work, which means then you have to hit all the jumps wide open, which then gets a bit scary. But it's cool. I enjoyed it. It's good. Except I raced with the 450s because the races were in a bit of a weird order. So I wanted to do the old boys race, which is for the old boys, which I'm now in, unfortunately.
Masters.
Big 4-0 coming up. So I wanted to race old boys and I wanted to race MX2 hobby, and MX2 is the like smaller capacity class, which my bike is in. So 125 2-stroke and 250 4-stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have MX Open, which is basically any bike, but it's normally the 250 2-strokes and the 450 4-strokes. But the old boy and the MX2 were next to each other back to back. So I wouldn't have been able to go out, come back in and get on the grid and do the next race. And I would have been absolutely destroyed because you get off pretty tired. So I switched to the MX Open and then went out with the 450s, and that's where all this arm destruction is from.
What is that caused by? What has happened for your arm to look
basically
like
as the 450s come past and they're wheel spinning because they've got so much power on the straights, and they fire the stones and the mud at you, basically. So you catch it in the arms and in the face if you're unlucky, and on the nose, but normally you've got like a peak on your helmet, so you can like tuck your head a bit and look down, and you have to kind of like look down but still look forward so you can see where you're going, because you're holding onto the bars obviously in front, and normally it's on the straight, where on the straight you're trying to hold the throttle wide open and then kind of surf along the bumps. So you're sort of hanging out of the back of the bike basically, and it ends up basically being this bit that's exposed, so it's like all up my shoulder and everything.
Nice, man, you've done a good job.
But I had a chest protector on, so like most of my chest is fine and didn't really hit me in the stomach, so that's cool. But my friend who's racing as well in the MX Open hobby is destroyed, like absolutely ruined, because he had a smaller chest protector, like an old school chest protector. Like mine is quite big, like a new style one. He had this old school one because he's old school motocross guy. It's just completely ruined. Like he might as well not had it on. Absolutely destroyed. It's cool.
I bet he was pleased because he could move about a bit quicker on the bike.
Well, that's what he said. He said he didn't want to use a bigger one because it's a bit more awkward to
slow him down.
Because I had one before and it had the bicep protector on everything. I was like, what is that for? Because I hadn't done a motocross race before, and it's a motocross chest protector. And I was like, well, I don't really want that because like I can't really move. So I took the shoulder pads off and I took the bicep protector off. And then yesterday I wish I'd left it on.
Yeah, smooth move.
That is rough.
Now you know why they have them.
It's rough. Yeah, I'll look at getting one of those because it really, like, I'm not too bad with the whole pain thing, but that surprised me because this guy came past. He's just like, "Wah!" And I thought, oh, he's going for it. And I was chasing somebody else, and the other guy who was in front of me like pulled out of the way. And I thought, what's he pulled out of the way for?
Just like him getting out of the way.
Just sprayed us, man, with this stuff. Oh my god, absolutely ruined me. But it's pretty chaotic motocross. It's the first time I raced a proper motocross race. It's not a high level race, but it's a decent level, I think, for sort of club level.
Yeah.
But just people were just going crazy, man. Like at the start, first race of the day, and there was a huge crash at the start. Like it looked like something out of Star Wars, like when the Ewok forest blows up and there's like people going everywhere. It was like that with bike. Like imagine the speeder bikes just crashed into each other, but with motocross bikes and people, it just fucking went boom, like, and I'm like watching it, and this thing is just exploding. And then we went around the first bit of the lap. And there's a bit that like drops into the woods, crashed into a load of guys in the woods because they all got in a pile up. Got out of the woods, and there's this like really fast uphill. I came out of the uphill a bit behind everyone else because we'd been in this little pile up, looked up the hill, and there's just this other massive explosion of like bikes and people going everywhere. So, absolute mayhem. It looked like a hard enduro when the people try and climb up a hill and they like have to loop their bike and stuff like that. Looked like that. But they stopped that race in the end and then restarted it, and exactly the same thing happened again on the start. And these people just crashed into each other. What are you doing, man? Just chill out for like 2 seconds, get past the start, because the start is like 40 people on the line. And I didn't think it was that important to get good qualifying. I wasn't going to qualify well anyway because I haven't been riding that much. And I thought, well, it doesn't really matter because we're all going to be in a line. So if I get a good start, it'll be fine. But the start like funneled in. So from the outside, it was okay. But from the middle to the left, it was kind of like a sort of triangle like this. So if you're in the middle, you're all right because you can go past. But if you're anywhere this side of the middle, you've got to try and get in with everybody else. So this lot is trying to get in, and about probably 10 to the right of the middle also tried to get in for some reason, and it just exploded. And everyone on the outside was all right. And in one of the races, I managed to get an outside gate, and that was awesome because then you just go around the outside of everybody and you can see everyone. So you can like look in and see all this chaos going on and just ride around the outside. But when you're in that middle pack thing, god damn, it's crazy. Because the biggest starts I've done recently are probably maybe 10 people, and sometimes they can be like 8 on 2, like an 8 and an 8 on 2 lines for an enduro cross or something like that.
Yeah.
But this mayhem, man. It's like 40 people on the line, and it's got a full-on 15-second board and a 5-second board. Have you seen it when they do a motocross race on TV?
No.
They hold up the board. It's like 15 seconds, then it goes to 5, and there's like this little gate. There's a gate in front of you which pops up and stops everyone from going forwards. And then he holds the 5. And then everyone's got the bikes like on the rev limiter, so like 40 bikes, so the noise is insane. He takes the 5-second board down and goes away, and then you've just got to watch the gate, so you're not even really looking where you're going. And then when the thing drops, you drop the clutch and everyone's going, and then you've got to try and work out then what's going on with all these 40 people like funneling into this one line spot. And then they explode everywhere. So, it's pretty sick.
Just imagine just like Ewoks just flipping off motor.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I was like, literally, I could just see all these people cartwheeling on this thing. I'm like, dude, I've got 9 minutes plus 2 laps to do. 10 minutes plus 2 laps to do.
Hammer it, just go
full
clip.
Obviously, the guys who get away in front as well, because basically the worse you do in qualifying, the worse grid position you get, and then the worst place you get in the race, and then you're with the slower riders, so it's even more chaos.
Pays to not be shit.
Because they're like new riders, so they don't really know what they're doing. It's like when you start and go on track days and stuff, and you go in the novice group, and the people think, oh yeah, novice group, that'll be fine, because everyone's going slow. It's like the novice group is just complete mayhem.
People that want to go fast but aren't good enough.
They're just like doing they're trying to go fast, they don't know how. They're having their first day and they're a bit nervous. So they're doing some weird stuff, and it's just chaos. And this is like that at the back. So now I have to get faster than being a novice to get out of the way of the carnage a little bit. My friends. No, well, I was going to. I was like super excited. Yeah, let's go and train, and then check the website after the race, and they've cancelled the next one. It was like a 2-day one in August, and it's cancelled. So it's a bit of a bummer. That's cool. Enjoyed that. Man, it's quite a reasonable price. Yeah, it was like, I think it was €70 for the 2 classes.
Yeah.
So quite a reasonable bit of riding. But the cool thing is the track is all prepped. So when you go to a practice track here, they don't really prep in the day, and then they prepped. Obviously, there's a lot of people riding at quite high pace, so the track gets rough. But they prep the track like 3 or 4 times during the day because it gets super, super rough. Like at the end of the race, this hill where everyone like Star Wars each other. Was so rough that my bike was hardly on the ground. It's just like bouncing up and down like that. So they have to smooth the track a bit because it would just get completely beaten up. But yeah, so I was going to book another one, haven't, but there's other stuff coming up and there's other championships and stuff like that. But I'd like to do this one. It's pretty cool. So I just practiced this weekend probably instead. But it's good. I was pleased with my fitness, considering I haven't really done much conditioning, because I was looking at the times of the people who were near me. So there were quite a few people who did a double class, who were like at the lower end of the 2 classes that I was in. And my times were getting a little bit faster through the day, and people who had been much faster than me in qualifying were then much slower than me by the end, and like looked absolutely ruined. Like at one point,
tired,
really tired. We were on the grid on the last race, and I'd qualified next to this guy, like quite low down, and he had his girlfriend there with an umbrella, and he was basically asleep on the grid, like, because they're so tired, and he's riding around like completely ruined, like basically trying to survive to get around. Yeah. So that was quite promising, because it means my fitness is okay. And then obviously once you go faster, then you get more tired. So then you need to be a bit more fit and conditioned to it.
Yeah.
You get into a bit of a loop, but it's cool. There's definitely more gains to come just from going faster and technique and stuff. And then the fitness needs to catch up. So
sweet.
It's all good. Yeah. And I jumped back on the squats and stuff last night just to click off last week. And I changed up the end of my training a little bit, because it's got these sort of 2 larger movements at the start of the session. So there's like a bench and something else, a bench and a pull up, or deadlift and a squat variation, and then a bunch of assistant stuff. So I'm now doing the assistant stuff in a bit of a circuit instead, so I can keep working for like 10 minutes with not much, if any, break. And then that replicates that demand a little bit.
That's cool.
And then I'll try and get out on the push point. Yeah, but it's good, because normally I get like a lot of arm pump and stuff like that, but actually that was pretty good, because that's the worst thing is you start to get really tired and you're trying to hang on to the bike. Yeah. So you've got to have the thing like wide open on the straight, and you're trying to hold on to it, and it's trying to go away from you, and you're trying to cling on. If you get arm pump and you can't like physically close your hands, it's the same type of arm pump you get when you're doing a lot of cleans or pull-ups and anything where the bar is hanging, especially like hand cleans and stuff like that. And then you have to just let it go. It's that sort of feeling, but for like 10 minutes, and you're trying to hold onto a bike and jump and all this sort of stuff. So it gets a bit sketchy. I did go and ended up in the woods in the last race. That was a bit disappointing. I was pretty annoyed about that, because I had a really good third race, really enjoyed it. That was the best race that I had. And was riding really well. And then in the next one, it wasn't a big gap between the 2. There was like I think it was 1 race between the 2, or maybe 2. So I had like 20 minutes break, and it was the last race of the day for me. And was actually doing all right again and riding pretty smooth and going pretty well. And then there's like a hairpin into a step up. I did the step up and then go around another hairpin, and it went into like quite a fast straight and into a left-hander and over quite a big jump into the woods. And I went in a bit hot. I think I was trying to pass somebody and went in a bit hot, and then I couldn't turn in because the guy was there, and I had to pick it up, and I went into the woods instead. Whoops daisy. Went into the Ewok forest to see if Wicket was there, and then had to sneak back on the track.
Well, I mean, in terms of racing and recent exploits, it sounds like it was pretty successful for you. It
was pretty awesome, to be fair. Yeah.
The wood shenanigans.
Yeah, considering 3 months ago or 4 months ago, I was on crutches with a smashed up hip. So pretty happy with that.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like you, I think you mentioned it last week. If you didn't train how you have been training and have always trained for a long time, you'd probably be in a lot worse condition.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot for sure. Because now I feel pretty good. Like my hip and everything feels good. My knee though today, man, I was thinking about you today, because I did something, I don't know if I like crouched down and then just for a little while, for about 20 minutes, my knee was killing me. I was trying to go up and down the stairs. So I was messing around with some bikes and had to keep going up and down the stairs. Oh my God. And I was thinking, well, this is the end of this then. Oh, awful, man. It was.
Oh, yeah, right. That's just how it feels. That's how my knee feels now. Whoa. That's just that. I get scared of that shit. But my knee has the newest injury, which I've been rehabbing for 8 months. I've now been able to do some squat cleans on, some bits and pieces like that on without it feeling bad, which is good. I actually tried some squats without the box the other day, only with like 60 something kilos, and that felt okay. But then I went straight back on the box. So just testing the waters with it a little bit. What screwed it up because I was working from home, have been for like the last year and a bit, I never really go in the car anymore, not for more than like half an hour, 10 minutes, whatever. So the trip was like best part of 2 hours, so like an hour and 45 minutes, and just sitting in the same position in the car. I've got an automatic as well because of my knee issues, and that just seemed to just flare up how it used to always feel like my old injury. And then just doing generally a lot of slow paced walking, standing around, dawdling about, on the beach, at the seafront. Well, it's just made it feel like really heavy inside my knee, like it's all like sort of gunged up, and it doesn't feel great. But
it cleaned out.
Yeah, the actual injury that I've been rehabbing, touch wood, it's been feeling pretty decent. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing with that.
My shoulder's still messed up.
I had to squeeze my week's worth of training into Monday to Friday morning. So I had like quite an intense week of training, all the conditioning stuff and all the powerlifting stuff, because I wanted to get everything. I didn't want to leave a session short and have it carry over to the next week, because then you're ending up chasing yourself. So I did everything by Friday morning, all the powerlifting sessions that I wanted to do and all the CrossFit sessions that I wanted to do. And that is when I realized that actually could just go in from working across a 6 or 7 day training schedule to try and put it into like best part, let's say 5. That's when you realize, actually, that I need that extra time. That's why I feel like that. Like if I tried to do any more in that time, this is how I'd feel, and then I'd need more recovery time, and then it would get, sort of end up grinding yourself into the dust again. So that was good just to experience that just for that week. That was quite good.
It's pretty amazing that you've managed to actually work that out there, because I think historically you couldn't really work out how that would make you feel. So
I was feeling it. I think I had some sort of back-to-back. There was quite a trick just trying to juggle everything and make sure I got everything in. And I was like, if I do this conditioning session here, that's a little bit leggy, so I'm best off to do my squats before that, because then at least I got my powerlifting stuff done, and then I'll just be a little bit slower on the leggy stuff on that, and I'll probably feel like this. And then I can't do that overhead press there, because the next day I've got to be doing some sort of stupid overhead, shoulder to overhead thing. I couldn't feel my triceps for like 4 days. It was insane. I had to put bench right the way to the back, because I did some shoulder. I did overhead press there. That's it. I did overhead press before the class. So, whatever it is, 6 sets of 5 and then 3 sets of 8 on overhead press. My AMRAP was 12 reps on that weight. So that was quite good. So I did all that work. And then I did a little complex, which was 2 strict press into 2 push press into 2 push jerk, like to get up to a max weight. And I ended up like just doing two of those complexes. So that's however many reps. What's that, like another 6 reps? No, 2, 4, 6, another 12 reps of overhead press stuff. And then into a workout, which was something like 5 shoulder to overhead, 10 bar facing burpees, 15 box jumps. And it was just an AMRAP. So you just keep cycling through and through. And I think I did 8 rounds. So that's another 40 shoulder to overhead with like 60 kilos. So honestly, every time, when you like go to straighten your arm and you instantly your triceps cramp. I had that for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, oh man, I need to bench. And I need my triceps to bench. It's like, I'd like woke up in the morning and go, right, can I bench today? Nope. Work on the next day. Nope.
It's like, that's what I used to get when I used to ride enduro. It was like that. It would like be riding about 4 or 5 hours in, and my triceps would lock out and my hands would close shut. Absolutely insane. Crazy.
So I had to so the overhead press, it was only 44 kilos, but I got a set of 12 on that. And then the deadlift I posted, which was 151 for 10.
Yes, please.
So that was good. And the bench, when my triceps finally stopped cramping, they still hurt, but I could straighten my arm without them locking up, was 87 kilos for 10.
Nice.
So I was happy with that. And the squats were okay, 122 for 8. They were like, it was okay, but I was feeling it by that point. That was like the last session I'd done. So it was, I think it was anyway. I just can't remember what happened this week. But I did a lot of training, and
Blow.
then I had a little holiday.
Yeah, mine's okay. It was a bit of a mess last week because I was getting the bike ready and all that stuff, but I finished it in the end. And then today started another week. But it just goes crazy, that juggernaut in the last like 2 weeks of a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
The volume and everything just goes nuts. So this morning I trained with some bench. It's not too bad this morning's one because it's like bench and shrugs and stuff like that. And then tomorrow is like a back version of that with some like bodybuilding type stuff. But still plenty of reps. And then next week, I think is maybe the last week in the cycle. So then I need to try a proper squat and a proper bench. And then I'll have some 1 rep maxes to then go into the next one properly with, so that'll be interesting to see where the squat is. Because the squat was okay a few weeks ago. I think after I did my hip, I squatted like 100 for 15 or something like that. So maybe I can do like 140. Bench, I don't think is going to be very good because my shoulder's not feeling good at all. I'm feeling rank. I felt awesome after the race on Saturday. It was insane. I didn't want to get up on Sunday. And I was thinking, man, I'm just going to be absolutely destroyed. But I got up and I was like, I feel worse. I felt worse today before I trained than yesterday after I got up.
Yeah.
It was weird, man. Really, really weird. So there must be some magic in the bananas. But basically, I just kept eating all day. And I had some nuts with like honey and salt in. And I think that helped. Because normally I don't have too much salt. And then it was really hot. I must have drunk about 4 liters of water as well. Yeah. So I was just like constantly like grazing all day. But that went pretty well. I thought my energy wasn't going to be great. But actually, it was pretty cool. Just slow. That's all. Yeah. A bit more faster.
So I'm going to come full circle back to my hair story. Okay. Because it is a training story as well. But you can see the state of it.
You can see the seagull, Buffont.
See what's going on with this, like an emo kid now.
Pretty wild.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Mirror image, can't get it to go back the right way. So
put some eyeliner on and cry.
Yeah, that's just like a normal day, but with eyeliner. So there was a workout, and I've erased most of it from my memory now because it just all went to shit. But basically, the start was 100 double unders. It was something like 3 rounds, 100 double unders, 10 squat cleans with 50 kilos, and then 5 bar muscle ups. And then you just keep going through that. And so I think, right, well, this is quite a good workout for me. I've been able to do squat cleans. I can do bar muscle ups. I can double under. Could I double under? Could I double under? So I start spinning the rope, and it doesn't even go over my head once. It's like, bang, stopped. I'm like, no, what's going on? And normally that happens, and then I'll just carry on. I'm like, right, it's just I need to jump higher. I need to move my arms faster. I need to stay tight or whatever. So 5 minutes later, I was like in bits, just going, what is going on? The rope is hitting the top of my hair because as I come down, so the rope is going into my hair and tripping on my fucking hair. So I've got like a hair, like a small hairband on just to keep it back, but it's still like bouncing up and down. And so the coach is like, it's your hair is tripping your rope. I'm like, fuck's sake. So she went and found some like little hairband out of the lost and found. She puts it in like a man bun thing. I'm like, just help me. I don't know what I'm doing. And I still keep going, but it's still too tall. So it still keeps catching. So I ended up going on the ski erg and basically I wanted to shave my head immediately just so I could do double unders.
I just shaved it in the wad.
So I lost so much time. And it was one of those ones where I just sat down and sulked afterwards because I was like, what? I just really...
Yeah, that's just...
If I'd have had my GBA cap on me, which I should do at all times, then I could have just popped the cap on backwards, and that would have kept the old barnet under control.
Well, backwards, you'd have clipped the back of the cap probably with the rope.
Well, something should have happened. Oh, if I'd have gone like that and just kept it pinned against my shoulder.
Do something. Something would come out in the wash. Or a swimming hat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. You should a swimming cap or a hairnet, just something. Yeah, it's just something. I asked a guy. There's another guy there called Darren who has longish hair, and I messaged him on a group, and I said, Darren, man to man, I've got a question to ask you. How do you stop your hair hitting your skin and rope? And he said, I just do singles. That's
trick.
Fine. Keep your secrets.
Lower jump.
Keep your secrets to yourself.
Jumps.
Yeah.
I don't have such a problem.
But I think that's happening. I think there's double unders tomorrow. There was a really good workout today that I would have liked. So it was a 3-rep max on deadlift to start. It's like the strength bit, which I'm on 3s this week, so I could have tied that in and obviously gone an AMRAP on it. And then it was, yeah, I'm in 3s week. And then it was something like, it was sprints. It was in 2 minutes. You had to do 5 pull-ups or 3 bar muscle ups, 10 burpee box jump overs, and then 10, I might have got the numbers wrong. And then it was 10 deadlifts and then go back. So then you do another 10 burpee box jump overs, another 5. But no, 5 and 5. 5 pull-ups, 5 burpee box jump overs, 10 deadlifts, 5 pull-ups, 5 burpee box jump overs. So you sprint for like 2 minutes, then you have a rest, and then you do it again. So I would have really liked that one, but I was away.
That's good.
But yeah, tomorrow there's double unders and squat cleans again.
And the knees feeling all right and all that stuff.
Yeah. If the first part is a squat clean and split jerk, so I'll just test the water with that, like just building up. And if it doesn't feel good, I won't do the squat cleans. I'll just do power cleans with a heavier weight or something like that. But yeah, so I've got to figure out this hair situation. Otherwise, I'm just going to shave it all off.
Yeah, just shave off. I'm going to go shave mine.
Cornrows.
Yeah, get them slid in there. Whitey.
I'll work on it.
Ride around on a chrome wheeled BMX or something. Gold
my low rider that I had.
Yeah, the low rider. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, that's my list done.
Yeah, I'm pretty much out of topics, to be honest, because I didn't really do anything other than try and get ready. And then I'm into the infinite cycle of getting the bike ready again to then racing it. So,
well, I'm very interested to hear about your next cooking adventure, because it's been a while since we've...
Yeah, I've realised the other day that I haven't had any cooking adventures. So I went to the supermarket today and tried to just start again with the original, which was chili. And I couldn't even find any kidney beans. So I can't even make chili. I've got onions and beef. And then I bought some beef for stew so I can make the stew again and just remind myself how to actually cook. Because that was actually pretty good when I made that stew. And I was like, yeah, man, my mouth's watering a little bit like the donut, and then with the stew and everything. I was like, yeah, could be pretty good. But then I couldn't find any ingredients. So I'll have to get a little bit prepared. I thought, well, okay, I'll get this now because I've literally got no food. And then tomorrow I'll go and get the bits and pieces to actually put some dishes together. And if anyone's got any good recipes, other recipes, send them over and I'll try them.
Send them in. So before we finish, we obviously have to spend a bit of time talking about the football. So for all you football fans, there's football on. So go watch it somewhere. Okay. Because that's the extent of it. We're in the semi-finals. I say we. I had nothing to do with it. England are in the semi-finals playing on Wednesday. So yeah, I don't know if did Austria enter.
I have no idea. I didn't hear anything about Austria. I heard a bit about France because there's a few guys in the office that are from France.
Yeah,
a little bit about Italy, Germany, because I think England beat Germany. Yeah,
that's correct.
But that's all I know.
Yes, a round of football was played. And
two
teams entered of one team
played. Oh yeah, I was a bit preoccupied with trying.
Somebody scored a rounder, and then somebody else cried out Yahtzee, and that's how that went. Yeah, I think Spain are playing Italy in the other semi-finals. Okay. If you're into Spain,
cool match.
I think it might not be.
I have no idea. I think I'm still on Euro 96.
Yeah, the glory days. I was on French exchange then. That was in France, and they showed it in the cinemas for free. So that was pretty cool. I'm sure that was Euro 96.
Yeah, it would have been about that era. 96.
Would have been 13.
So I would have been in year 9. So you would have been in year 8. Yeah, that was probably right. I didn't realise you did the French exchange.
Something like that.
We didn't have a...
Or it was World Cup 98, something like that. Something around then. Again, other podcasts will have football information available.
More correct factual statements about
We don't.
football.
We don't.
We haven't zero.
But we put "Let's motherfucking go" on t-shirts, and then we get after it because that's what we do.
That's what we're all about.
That's what we do, homie. Cool. All right, dude. Let's hit it and quit it. Another week. Another chat in the books. Don't forget to like and subscribe, muddy funsters. Smash that like button.
I'm just thinking about going racing, to be honest.
Got to do what you got to do. The heart wants what the heart wants.
That is it.
Race it up, buttercup.
Once.
You need to get you a t-shirt with just that on it.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing one actually. We need to get back on the wagon, kicking out some designs, don't we? Let's do that. Sweet. See you later.
See you later.
Potato.
Bye.
No, you first.
Bye.
Bye.